Good afternoon, everyone. At the outset, I welcome respected Professor Dr. Virendra Negi ji on behalf of the school and on behalf of all the faculty members. Thank you for accepting our request to conduct this Viva Voce of the PhD thesis, Commercial Surrogacy in India, an analytical study with a special reference to Mumbai. Professor Negi is a very senior faculty of law, who has completed 19 years of teaching experience and around 20 years of research experience. And professor at the UILS Punjab. Sir has more than 90 publications, 7 book chapters, 8 books, and delivered multiple keynote speak as a keynote speaker, delivered multiple addresses, invited to talk for more than 10 events, conducted sessions which were chaired more than 12 events, international conferences, national conferences, and conferences more than 50. Sir has also contributed and guided multiple PhD scholars. He has guided 8 PhD scholars and more than 50 LLM dissertation. Sir is member of editorial board of Referred International Journal, UILS Punjab University Chandigarh, Lovely Professional University, IEC University Baddi, Vyas and Bahara University, Maharaja Agrasen University, and sir has also evaluated many reputed journals and publications. Sir has also been part of academic responsibilities, including sir has become the Ombudsman of Jagat Guru Nanak Dev University, Punjab, Patiala, member EC Council, Central University Dharamshala, member Academic Council, Central University Dharamshala, and also shared multiple responsibilities at UILS Punjab University Chandigarh as a member of Board of Studies, as member of SC/ST Cell UILS, member of Board of Control UILS, members of Law Fund Committees, member of Technical Committee, Administrative Committee, Coordination Committee, and member of Academic Committees for UILS Punjab, and also the Admission Coordinator for UILS Punjab. This is a very brief introduction. Those who know Professor Negi is not always known for many academic contribution, and sometimes it becomes difficult to sum it up with a very less time. So on behalf of the School of Law, on behalf of the Division, we welcome you. And the topic of today's PhD presentation of Varsha Vyas is Commercial Surrogacy in India, an analytical study with a special reference to Mumbai, guided by Dr. Mandeep Kaur and co-supervised by Dr. Arshipal Kaur at Lebanon. So the trend is that we allow the students to, it's completely your domain and your whatever way you wanted to conduct it. But otherwise we allow the students for a presentation. After that, and whatever your queries are. Okay.
Yes. Good morning to all the dignitaries, all the respected chairperson and the professors, sir and ma'am. I am Varsha Vyas. Today I am presenting my PhD research title on Commercial Surrogacy in India, an analytical study with special reference to Mumbai. The study examined the legal, ethical, social and human right dimensions of commercial surrogacy with practical references to the Indian legal framework. Through both doctrinal and empirical research method, this study analyzes the challenges faced by the surrogate mothers, intended parents and the children born through the surrogacies and evaluate whether the existing legal regime adequately protect the rights and interests. So the introduction and genes of the commercial surrogacy is by the first part of the presentation. Using women's wombs to generate a kid for another woman has emerged as a new stage for practical reproduction innovation. Surrogacy is one of the most effective way to combat the social and biological infertility. Surrogacy is a way of helping someone have a baby when they cannot carry the pregnancy themselves. In this process, a woman called a surrogate agrees to carry the child, then give a birth to it and another person and the couples. This option is often chosen by the people or the couple who have medical issues, genetic concerns and other reason that makes it difficult for them to conceive or carry the baby to the terms. Commercial surrogacy, in which a woman gets compensated for carrying and delivering a child for another person or a couple, has become a major occurrence in India. India, known for its low cost and excellent success rate, has emerged a top designation for fertility tourism, attracting many international clients. The world is generally known for its concept of substitutehood. Infertile pairs views the surrogate fertility as an imaginative child's fantasy. The term surrogate is derived from the Latin word surrogates, substitute, a person appoint to act in another's on behalf. The concept and the meaning and types and stakeholders. The ART bills define surrogacy as an arrangement in which woman agrees to pregnancy achieved through the assisted reproductive technology, in which neither the gametes belongs to her or her husband, with the intention of carrying to its terms and handing over the child to the person or the person for whom she is acting as a surrogates. Types of surrogacy. Traditional surrogacy, this is a type of a surrogacy. It requires the surrogate mothers to be artificially inseminated with the intended father's sperms, where the surrogate's eggs are fertilized with the intended father's sperms. Thus, she is genetic mother of the child to whom she gives the birth. Gestational surrogacy is more modern recommended surrogacy today, and this method alone is performed by both the surrogacy service provider today. In this gestational surrogacy, an in vitro fertilization techniques is allowed. Allows the fertility doctor to fertilize the eggs with the intended mothers using the sperms from the intended fathers. The sperms and the eggs can also be supplied by the donor for fertilization. Fertilized eggs are then implanted to the surrogate uterus. Therefore, the surrogate is not biologically linked with the surrogate's baby. She is strictly a carrier. Altruistic surrogacy. In this method, the altruistic surrogacy, the woman agrees to become a surrogate without being compensated. In most surrogacy arrangement, the surrogate receives a compensation for her time and efforts on the top of general post related to the pregnancy. Altruistic surrogacies are typically helping someone they know, such as close friend and family members, and will likely only receive reimbursement for the medical cost. Independent surrogacy. In this kind of surrogacy, usually independent surrogates are a woman who voluntarily to offer the surrogacy services without enlisting the helps of surrogacy service provider. However, this type of surrogacy arrangement is among the riskiest due to the lack of screening and protections. So ethical and social implications. The surrogacy is a topic of debate from a very longer period of a time in the field, like in the legal, ethical and social and many other fields. This concept has evolved around the world rapidly. It contains a very paradoxical situation because some people favor it and some oppose it. The commercialization of surrogacy in India raises a numerous ethical concerns. One major issue was exploitation of poor women who were seen has been coerced into the surrogacy due to the financial pressure. Critics argues that the industry commodified the woman's body and turned the reproduction into the transactional process. Legal framework and reforms. From many years, the commercial surrogacy industry in India operates in a grey area. The lack of comprehensive legislation allows an industry to thrive, but it also leads to enormous legal disputes and controversies. The legislation of surrogacy varies from country to country. Various countries like United Kingdom, Ireland, Denmark, Belgium, and some US states, India, Russia, Ukraine allow the surrogacies in different or the other manner. The people who are not blessed with a child go with the concept, but many other people criticize it. The people who favors it want to legalize it so that everyone can have a happiness of getting a child for the further development of a family and nation. I had gone through the lots of articles and the cases and found that from the history till date today, some or the other person has supported the surrogacy and some has not. Celebrities including Amir Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, Tushar Kapoor, Sunny Leone, Ekta Kapoor and Shilpa Shetty have also used the surrogacies to bear the children, making a notion popular throughout the world. They have joyfully embraced this habit in the recent years. However, this structure has created a new battle for periodical clashes between the liberal and communitarian schools of thoughts.
Varsha, why you have choose this topic for research?
So I have taken this topic, in 2020 I have taken this topic because there was a number of guidelines and bills were passed. The act was not been there and there was a number of baby manji cases and lots of cases where the Surrogacy Regulation Act was not in the picture. So there was a need for an act and there was a need for a regularization of a surrogacy, because people when they are going for the surrogacies, commercial surrogacy, there was a lots of dispute between the intended parents and surrogates. The parents are coming from the abroads, and when there is a dispute between the parents go away and they deny to take the baby also. So the baby's rights are at the risk. So that's why it leads me to take the surrogacy as one of the topic where I can do more research and where I can do all my studies over there.
So come to your objective of the studies.
Yes, sir. Objective of the research is to examine the evaluation and implication of commercial surrogacy in India, to understand the social ethical implication of commercial surrogacy in India, to analyze the law relating to the commercial surrogacy in other countries across the world, to evaluate the constitutional aspects, existing laws, bills, various reports, and to analyze the judicial decisions regarding the commercial surrogacy in India, to analyze the implication of commercial surrogacy in Mumbai, and to propose a suitable recommendation for the commercial surrogacy arrangements in India.
What are the ICMR guidelines?
Sir, ICMR guidelines in 2005, first ICMR guidelines, they have only banned the commercial surrogacy first, and they have talked about the intended parents' rights, surrogates' mother rights, and the children born from the surrogates. Because when the children used to be born in India, as one of we have a Mumbai is one of the hub, Gujarat is one of the hub. When the children were born, and when the child used to be taken by the parents over there, the country which the abroad countries which restrict the surrogacy, which do not recognize commercial surrogacy, their citizenship was been denied. So this made the study about.
Okay, continue.
Hypothesis. The Surrogacy Act 2021 has effectively reduced the commercial surrogacy practice in India, but face the challenges in consistent implementation due to the inadequate administrative mechanism. The transition to altruistic surrogacy has increased societal and familial pressure on the woman, potentially leading to ethical dilemmas, coercion, particularly among the economically disadvantaged group in India. The prohibition of commercial surrogacy has negatively affected the livelihoods of surrogate's mother and has encouraged a cross-border surrogacy arrangement, has intended parents seek alternative abroads. Research methodology. I have taken doctrinal and empirical research methodology. The present study is analytical as well as an empirical in nature. This study basically follows the doctrinal research methods in compilation, organization, interpretation and systemization of the primary and secondary resources data material. I have also used both primary and secondary as well as primary and secondary sources. The secondary data is collected by the researcher from the published sources such as various books, Indian and foreign journals, online journals, newspapers and research articles, and various websites for the subject for the purpose of collecting the literature and the data for the study and analysis. I have also adopted the empirical method of research in the present study in order to collect and generalize the information through the questionnaires from the varieties of the respondent on the subject in hand. The primary data has collected on the selected 200 respondent in Mumbai. In this study, the primary data collected from the respondent has been used to prove and disprove the research hypothesis. Data collection, method of data collection. The questionnaire method was used to get the results. An attempt was made to analyze the legal and general respondent with the empirical study on the subject in hand. 2 questionnaires were framed, one for the legal respondent, which includes the legal fraternity, and other for the general respondent such as doctors, surrogates, mothers, surrogatees, and general public from the different strata of the society. Universe for this connection of data is Mumbai. There are so many high profile surrogacy issues are there. The number of respondents were fixed 200. The questionnaire contained open ended and close ended questions. So, sir, I have got the collection. Has I taken the legal respondent and general respondent? 110 respond I got from the legal respondent. From that, academicians, the law professors was 32 and advocates were 78. And in the general respondent, 120 respondent I got. 16 doctors who are practicing in the surrogates and IVF centers.
Only two mothers, right?
Sir, surrogate mothers were ready to do. I got mothers more, but they were not ready to fill the forms. They have discussed lots of things with me, but they have filled the 2 only. I forced them and asked them to fill the form. And surrogacy I got 2, and general public I got 100, sir. Limitation of the research. Many people, including doctors, surrogates, mother, and general public, were not ready to give all the details even after being asked multiple times. The study was only done in the Mumbai, so the result might not reflect the opinion of the people from the other part of the India. The information further through the questionnaires relies on how the truthful and clear of the respondent were, and which could have impacted the accuracies of the data. Because of the time and surrogacy and resource constraint, only 200 people were surveyed, and which might have not covered all the group of the society. So, chapterization plan. First chapter is about the introduction and genesis of the commercial surrogacy in India. Next. Social dimension of the surrogacies in modern India. So, reason behind the emergency of India is the India has become a hub for the commercial surrogacy for a 4 main reason, that is a flexible legislation.
So give the gist of the chapter.
Yes.
The second chapter what we have covered and all.
Just in brief, not in detail.
Okay, sir. So here I have covered about the social dimension, how the socially it has impacted the problem faced by the children born out of the surrogacies, the recent developments after the 2021 Regulation Act, how this development has been there, many unethical
What
practices.
about the old days?
Old
days में कैसे होते हैं?
Sir,
Old times, no? What about the surrogacy?
Okay, before coming, before this surrogacy, we were having a guidelines ICMR guidelines we were having, and there we
Before
were.
1947,
Sir, that time also surrogacies was from the surrogacy is from historical background where. Sir, even it has been in some of the history and evolution development. I have also written there that from the goddesses' time the surrogacy has been there. Where the wombs the intended parents' the children was born, and it was in their picture, sir. In 2008, when the landmark case of Baby Manji Yamada cases came into the picture, that time we got a realization, our legislation and judiciary got a realization that we don't have a regulation for a commercial surrogacy. And from that time, the Jen Belna's case, there were a number of cases which was coming into the picture, and we were having a question mark that we were not having a legislation, proper rules to regulate the surrogacy. And in 2021, we got a final regulation act, which was incorporated in 2022, 25th January. So here I have mentioned about the ethical dimension of a surrogacies, which is talking about the commercialization of surrogacy, socio-ethics of surrogacies in India, and reproductive justice, issues related to the surrogacies, and balance of ethics and legislation. Medical dimension has also been covered, which is talking about the fertility treatment and IVF, screening of surrogates' mother, hormone therapy, and psychological synambration.
medical dimensions.
Medical dimensions here so I can just refer thoda. So in medical dimension, the surrogacy begins being when an assisted reproductive technology such as an in vitro fertilization, which involves an combining of egg and sperms in the laboratory to create an embryo. The viable embryo then is implanted into the surrogate's mother's uterus, and the mothers must go through the hormonal treatment to prepare an uterus for an implantation. Screening for a surrogate's mother, here I have explained that surrogate mother go through the medical assessment before being with the surrogacy process. This includes the blood test, pelvic exams, infection diseases screening, and screening assures that the surrogate is physically and emotionally fit to carry the pregnancy, lowering the likelihood of the difficulties. The surrogate receives an hormone therapy for preparing the uterus for an embryo implementation. The hormone therapy control the evolution and strengthen the uterine lining. Furthermore, either of the eggs originate from the intended mother as a donor or the donor. The surrogate and eggs provides the cycles for the coordination of the increase in the likelihood of success. The third chapter is talking about the comparative international perspective of commercial surrogacy. The different legal approaches across the country has been made. The paid surrogacy is legal in the United States and Ukraine with a strict contract that protects both the surrogates and intended parents. In contrast, the France, Germany, and Spain all have outlawed the commercial surrogacy because they believe it violates the human dignity. Surrogacy was formerly more affordable in the countries such as India, Thailand, Nepal, attracting the large number of international couples. However, the following multiple examples of exploitation. This country has amended their laws to prohibit the commercial surrogacies. Many government now advocates the altruistic surrogacy, in which a woman solely receive a reimbursement of medical and living expenses. There are the certain rules of international conventions in the surrogacies. The conventions are the international agreements significantly influence the global law, ethical principles and rights regarding the surrogacies by promoting the fairness and the protection of all the involved. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, that is ICCPR, reaffirms the equality and rights of protection for the exploitation and guarantee the free choice in the matter of reproduction. The International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights recognizes a woman's right as a health and family life. While the Convention on the Elimination of All Form of Discrimination against a woman, CEDAW, prohibits the commercial exploitation of a woman of reproductive functions. The conferences.
USA and India.
Comparative. So in US, some of the countries I have mentioned. Yes. So in US, the United States has. So United States has one of the most extensive and transparent legal regime regarding surrogacy in the world. Unlike many other countries, the United States operates on a state by state basis, which means that each state has its own surrogacy laws. The American model emphasizes the importance of striking a balance between the respecting surrogates' rights and allowing intended parents to pursue their dreams of motherhood. So in the Thailand, the commercial surrogacy has been allowed, and that is also becoming one of the hub, and the government has to work on that part also. Should I go for the next chapter, sir? Legislative and judicial approaches for a commercial surrogacy. legislative and judicial approach to commercial surrogacy in India to regulate the practical practice and protect the rights of all involved. The Indian government has over a time established a number of rules and guidelines. The surrogacy became illegal in India in 2002 when Indian Council of Medical Research, that is ICMR, issued the rules allowing a commercial surrogacy under the specific condition. To address their issues, the government later banned commercial surrogacy and
latest regulation.
yes sir, latest regulation.
What is the main motive of this regulation?
Yes, this act has been recently passed by the Parliament in 2021 with some major amendments that has been they were suggested in the draft earlier, where in the light of the importance provision of this act, the act has created a proposed for the creation of the National Assisted Reproductive Technology. The Act has created a proposed for a creation of National Assisted Reproductive Technology and Surrogacy Board at the national level, inclusive of functions such as advising the government on the issues related to the surrogacies in the country, to look after the setups for the proper infrastructure of the clients and hospitals, provide facilities to the surrogacy. Also, it has provided some functions of supervision for the state level assisted reproductive technology and surrogacy abroad. It allows the ethical altruistic surrogacy, which means that surrogate mother will not be paid for carrying a child in her womb. Commercial surrogacy is prohibited. The couple is allowed to go to the surrogacy to become a parent. Latest amendment. So here in the latest amendment in 2001 they have only allowed the married couples.
2001.
Yes, 2021. In 2021, the latest they have allowed only the married couples to go for a surrogacy, and individual woman and individual man were not allowed. But in some after some cases, and the legislature have allowed the single woman who is a widow or a divorcee can also go for a surrogacy. But your single man couple, Dr. Yamada and his wife visited in India to have a baby through the practice of surrogacy. Then they hired a Indian woman for a surrogacy, so for the surrogate mother for the child, who lives in the Gujarat, where this practice has been developed. Due to some matrimonial disputes, the couple had divorced, but the father wanted to have a custody of the child, but according to Indian law, single father cannot adopt a girl child. So in this case, the Justice Pashad and the Sharma for the Supreme Court gave a judicial custodial rights of the girl child to the grandmother, and so in this case this was analyzed that there is a need for a regulated surrogacy laws in the country.
What are the rights of surrogate children? क्या rights है? Mothers के क्या rights है?
Surrogacy mothers have certain rights, just they're intended. There is a lots of disputes in the court also when the surrogate used to get pregnant and the intended mother used to be there. During the delivery, the surrogate used to deny to hand over the babies. So here the court has done the legislation, has asked that surrogate, if their intentions are there, and if their eggs are there and intention is there to give a birth to the child, the surrogate mother has a right to take this. The child has an intended parents. They will be original parents, original mother, original parents of this child. And surrogacy rights are they should in this legislation they have given that they will be counseled. They will be given a therapies and other things.
Okay, continue. Next chapter.
Yes. So next chapter is about the empirical studies on the surrogacies practice in India. This part of the study examines the detailed and data collection from the individual on the subject. Commercial surrogacy in India, an analytical study with special reference to Mumbai, analyzes that the data is very important because it helps to understand how the people know about the surrogacy, what they think about it, and how legal experts sees it in the legal and judicial sites. Through this process, the study turns the data into the useful insights that supports the research goals and helps to understand the legal situations. So aim was the main goal for analyzing includes
views of the mothers. आपने views mothers के लिए surrogate
explaining the surrogate's mother's view.
View, sir.
Surrogate's mother's view, sir. Sir, I have mentioned over here. So surrogate's mother, the surrogate mothers are the views of that it is one of the when they faces a medical issues or medical problems. So surrogacy is one of the boon or the blessings for them, because there was a other way also to adoption of the child is also the one of the way where they can have a child in the family. But due to they have a genetic presence in the child in the surrogacy in the child, and hence the surrogate is only the carrier of the child. So surrogate mother has thought that it is one of the blessings and it is one of the boon for them. But after commercialization, they are thinking that altruistic surrogacy has came into the picture, which is talking about only the relative females can be surrogates, and this becomes one of a difficult step for this couples, the couples who wants to go for a surrogacy and who want to have a blessings of the children with a genetical उनका presence होना चाहिए उसमें. So they feels that कि surrogacy is one commercialization surrogacy को ban करके they are thinking that it is one of the criticizing part for them.
Come to your.
Yes, sir. I have given certain. Yes, sir. Recommendations has been done. Just go through this. So legislative certain recommendation has been given to strengthen the surrogacy regulation framework. I have done the recommendation on legislative, ethical, social and medical on the medical grounds. So legislative reforms for the strengthening the surrogacy act is amendment in the definition clause compensated altruistic surrogacy. So in the existing law, the act strictly prohibits the commercial surrogacy and permits only altruistic surrogacies without monetary expense compensation and accept only medical expenses and insurance. So the amendment I have just given a recommendation stating that compensated altruistic surrogacy has to be there, means a surrogacy in which a reasonable compensation is provided to a surrogate's mother for a losses of the wages, health risk and psychological counseling, and postmortem rehabilitation as prescribed for the appropriate authority. Instead of maintaining only the prohibition on the compensation, a careful regulatory framework will allow to limit and transparent compensation which may be more effective. Some other recommendations sir have given here is insertion for a mandatory rehabilitation and social security provisions. This present statutory framework governs the surrogacy large focus on the regulatory procedures and preventing the exploitation. However, it does not adequately address the long-term welfare and rehabilitation of the surrogate's mother after the birth. The absence of structured social security and post-delivery support mechanisms leaves the surrogate's mother vulnerable in the health complication, economic instability and social neglects once the surrogate arrangement is completed. So after the surrogacy arrangement is completed, after has an altruistic surrogacy, once the payment is done, her medical expenses and insurance payment is done, afterwards the intended parent is not looking forwards to the surrogate mother what she is going through. So here the recommendation has been done. This suggested that new statutory provision is to be incorporated in legislation to ensure the comprehensive post-surrogacy supports to the surrogate's mother, to propose provisions which may include post-delivery health monitoring for the surrogate's mother for a minimum period of 12 months and ensure the proper medical recovery, mandatory pensions and financial security schemes to be provided for the long-term economic protection and stability, skill development programs and livelihood linkage initiative aims to enable the surrogate's mother and obtain the sustainable employment, and alternative income opportunity has to be there. Policy mechanism has been the policy mechanism, the effective implementation of the welfare measure. It is further recommended that the surrogacy welfare fund should be established. The fund may be financed from the multiple sources, such as financial contribution from the government, registration fees which is collected from the surrogacy regulatory firm, and penalties and the fines involved for the violation of for the provision of the act. Next is one of the most important part. Even I have here seen that this act has came into the picture. It is stopping the exploitation and commercialization of surrogacy, but the administrative mechanism is little weak. For strengthening the administrative mechanism, the structural reform has to be taken place. So successful implementation for the surrogacy implementation regulation largely depends upon the efficient and well-structured administrative framework. However, in practice, the several difficulties have been observed in the functioning the present administrative system. Regulatory structure under the existing laws mainly operate through the national surrogacy boards and state surrogacy boards. So here in the act we have two boards, that is national surrogacy boards and state surrogacy board. We don't have a district surrogacy board. Once this district surrogacy boards also come into the picture for administrating purpose, so sir, I feel that it will comes to the more
already national
surrogacy. Yes. In this act we have a national surrogacy board and state surrogacy board. But once the district surrogacy boards come into the picture, so the local level arrangements and local level controlling will become more easier, and the people will be approaching more, because when the surrogate's parents go for a surrogacy, so they have to take certificates, and this certificate they have to approach the state board and national board, and it becomes a more difficult way to approach for a surrogacy. So district board will help more for this. And even here I have just given that suggestion that digitalization of the application and monitoring process. So entire process relating to the registration, application submission, approval and monitoring should be digitalized through the integrated digital system. So digitization would help to maintain the proper record, reduce the paperwork, enhance the transparency in administrative functioning. It would also allow the authorities to monitor the surrogacy arrangement more effectively and detect the irregularities.
Any special rules in Mumbai?
Yes, sir.
Bombay का cover किया आपने, study specifically reference to Bombay.
Yes, sir.
Any rules, special rules in Bombay?
So no special rules in Bombay, because Bombay was, I have taken this study because Bombay was one of a hub, and since the celebrities.
Jalandhar is not a.
Huh?
I think Jalandhar is half in Punjab. I think maximum surrogacy was Mumbai.
Yes.
Why not?
So we have number of. So I have done the survey before taking this. While finalizing my chapter, also we have thought about it. So we have number of the states which was the one of the hub, and since the Mumbai, there are number of celebrities are there who are going for a surrogacy, and that becomes an intent for their local people कि वहाँ पे बहुत से लोग सर surrogacy के लिए जाते हैं. We have number of I have seen number of people apart from the celebrities, hence they have gone. Yes, they have gone for the surrogacy.
कौन सा एक्ट्रेस है जिन्होंने किया?
सर एक्ट्रेस किसने किया है? एकता कपूर इज देयर, तुषार कपूर इज देयर, करण जौहर इज देयर, शिल्पा शेट्टी इज देयर. सर लॉट्स ऑफ एक्ट्रेस, सनी लियोन इज देयर, हु हैज गॉन फॉर द surrogacy and it's become a trend. Priyanka Chopra has done, sir. Yes. So it becomes Shah Rukh Khan. This has become a trend. So it become a trend over there and there is a hubs also.
Okay. Congratulations. Now you are Dr. Varsha. And congratulations. Supervisor also complete. And both are prosperous one after. Okay. Congratulations both of them.
Thank you, sir.
Many congratulations. Now you are Dr. Varsha.